Three, two, one. All right. How you doing? Hello. My name is Christopher Davis. Welcome back to another episode of Generational Debates. I'm here with
Kahndes.
Kahndes. Nice to meet you. So, I discovered your music through TikTok. Basically, I kind of do this music discovery thing where I will just go and like look for different artists and look for artists who kind of fill my vibe because I don't know if you could tell by my general personality, but I'm a big neo soul fan. And when I heard your music, I definitely thought, okay, she's got something. So first, I wanted to ask you, how long have you been doing music? Who inspires you in this space? And what has been the most interesting part of your journey?
So I started actually making music when I was in high school. So me and my friend Paris, we used to be in class with our phones. We had GarageBand and some iPhone headphones, and we would just write and we would try to record as much as we could within the time slot of the class period because we weren't doing our classwork. We were making music. Um, I started there, and I once I graduated high school, I kind of picked it up a little bit more. But a lot of people don't know I actually started out rapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a mouth on me. Oh my God. Everybody that made me mad, I was like, yeah, I'm coming for you, 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 you. And then I realized like the environment that I grew up in was very Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't at a point where I was like grown enough to really release that music for real without getting in trouble. So I had to go back to the drawing board. And I ended up releasing a couple of songs in my freshman year. I was at Flagler College. It's in St. Augustine, Florida. I was there playing basketball. And, I leased the beats from YouTube because I had heard all the horror stories about producers finding independent artists and snatching them up and doing them. So I waited till I got money. I leased the beats. I made a couple songs, and people really did like they liked it. It was kind of the same vibe of what I do now. Of course, not as advanced as I am now, but back then it was I'm not gonna curse in my music. I was about to say cuss, but I'm not gonna curse in my music because at the time I had like a lot of little cousins that like looked up to me, and I'm like, I want them to be able to enjoy my music without me having to make clean versions of everything. Like that was my vibe at first. And I feel like it would appease like my family because they didn't want to hear me cussing all the time. And so that's where I started. And over time, like COVID happened not long after that, like my freshman year, at the end of my freshman year, and COVID happened. And I let people get into my head about the music that I was making, although it was clean and there was nothing wrong with it. So I took it down. And for the next 3 years of my life, I think I only maybe wrote like a good 5, maybe 6 songs, I want to say, but I didn't record or release anything. I kept everything in my phone. I just sat on it for a long time. And once I ended up transferring out and I was just sitting on my music, I got really into academics. I'm very smart, I will say. I'm horn toot toot. I am pretty smart, and I am also in English. I am a writer.
Okay, I write poetry and I'm a journalism major, and went to Howard. I'm going in North Carolina Central now, so I don't.
Congratulations to you! I'm here in Tallahassee because I'm at Florida State. I'm getting my master's.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So.
Yes, college educated Black folks. We love to see it.
A little something, But I ended up coming back here. Once I got back down here, that's when I was like, okay, like I'm old enough to make my own decisions. I can do what I want to do because I'm understanding now at this point that this is my life and I can make the decisions I want to, because at the end of the day, I come home and I live with myself. I live with my regrets. I live with my mistakes. And all those years that I wasn't doing music, I was regretting it the whole time, but I was too scared to do it. Like I just wouldn't move my feet. I was like, I'm stable. Academics is good. I don't have to rely on basketball to get me through school because I'm smarter than what I thought I was. Everything's working right. I don't need to do music right now. Like I can just keep that in my back pocket for me. And then once I got back down here, I was like, there's a creative scene. I've been holding on to this music for a long time. I could just feel it bubbling. I'm like, I knew when I was younger and I was singing in church and leading songs and singing Ty Tribbett and dancing to Mary, Mary, I knew back then that music was something that I really, really, really wanted for myself. But I was just scared of how the people around me would feel about that. And I was scared of it not being possible for me because I've seen so many people try to go that route and they failed. So I was scared that that would be the first thing that I would fail at because I'm not used to failing. I'm a straight A student. I'm not used to failing.
You're preaching right now. As a person who has definitely had these past 3 years had series of ups and downs, I definitely relate to the whole fear of failure. But again, with this show, I feel like it's kind of me embracing this, like, hey, we gonna ball with it regardless. The one thing that you can't not do is not try. At least that's what I learned. That's the lesson.
Thank you. Either it works or it doesn't, and if it doesn't work, at least you can say that you tried. You don't want to live with the regret of that's my thing. I have so many ideas of where I see myself within the next couple of years that I know if I don't do the groundwork now, I won't be prepared when it comes. Not even if, when it comes, I won't be prepared. So I'm trying to, push myself to do the hard things and have the discipline to get up and promote my stuff, even though sometimes I wish I had a team to do it for me because it gets hard. Yeah. So I'm glad that you found me from TikTok, because I be on TikTok all the time. I'm like, okay, I got to make another video. I know these people are about to start unfollowing me because I'm probably getting on their nerves, but I'm like, I need to find something to get people's attention, and it worked. It worked.
I mean, for me, I've always said that the one thing I appreciate about you is your pen, because poetry is a big part of me. Like songs like God's Light, and then I heard like Real Woman. I was just like, okay, like you got a pen game. So like you said you started out rapping. Like, were there any like rappers or any artists who like really inspired your pen, or like how you wrote, or like why you wrote?
I'm not gonna lie. When I first started out, Left Eye, of course. When I was a kid and I used to just be playing around, that's who I used to listen to all the time. I used to listen to TLC, Waterfalls. Oh, that used to be my karaoke song. Like I was Left Eye, I would just wait for my part. I seen a rainbow yesterday, too many storms. That was me. That was my part. So like she definitely inspired, I would say, the rap aspect of it. When I started making like little freestyles, I would use like I would like look at Lil Kim, but then I was like, I like Lil Kim, of course, but I didn't want to do like the whole promiscuous thing. I'm like, that isn't like my vibe of what I want. And then I tried to do that, but not with rap. I tried to do it with an Afrobeat song I made called Wow 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 Wow. I tried to do like a little promotional run where I was kind of like in my sexy vibe. Oh, I hated it. I hated it. I did not like it. I was like, I can't do it. Like that's not. I love everybody that does, but like for me personally, the way that I was raised, you're just conditioned to not want to do certain things because you feel like you're going to get in trouble all the time.
That's real.
So it still feels like that sometimes. And like, I'm grateful for it because of course I don't want my booty all over the internet and whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like as a person who like so I actually had a performance at an open mic because I also write poetry too. So, and also like if y'all do follow me on IG, like I have all my poetry posts in that. But like the one thing I noticed when I went and performed, it was like this great event, but every poem, like I typically like would stick to like lovey-dovey, like forlorn, like I'm falling for this person type stuff. But every poem I saw was very like sensual and sexual. I was like, oh, but it was like for an older audience. I did my poetry, and everybody like did the obligatory, like, oh, that's so sweet. But the best poems were like, oh, I'm toxic, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm doing that. I'm like, damn. So like when I actually like started writing poems like that, I realized that it's good, but it doesn't have to be like the whole part of my artistry, if that makes sense. Because I feel like, especially like with like I feel like we're objectified enough where we don't necessarily like in our society where we don't necessarily have to make a show out of like talking, being like really sexual with ourselves and like with our art. And that's not shaming any of the artists who do it. Trust me, Megan Thee Stallion is one of my favorite rappers ever. I love her music.
You actually know it's crazy. So I already told you, like I'm a writer. I'm here at Florida State. I have been studying for the past like 2 years, just Black feminism, the way that Black women embody themselves in the media. And I personally, although it's not my personal preference to like make songs like that are like outwardly, I would rather like innuendo and like get it underneath the scene. Like you gotta
shit like the Isley Brothers. Like
but like I honestly, all of the female artists that are out now, especially those that are making music like that, I commend them for being able to put themselves in a position to help other people feel embodied. Because you never know the things that people are going through. Like me personally, as a Black woman, I've had insecurities about my body. And although I don't do as much as anybody else is doing out here with whatever it is that they do, whatever they prefer in their life. Oh, I'm gonna bump some Megan Thee Stallion, and I'm gonna talk about how it's rock steady too, because it is. Like that's
and it's duality, and that's called duality. Like you gotta have
some Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah,
Reel it in real. I'm sorry.
Listen, no, you're good. You're good. I like this energy because I feel like for me, as I like got older, and again, like this is kind of like growing up with my twin sister, and then I also had music around me where I would just listen to, like I was basically raised off of the West Coast rap music that my mom loved when she was like growing up, then gospel, and then whatever pop music was on the radio. So I really didn't have like a basis like in rap. Then I was in the beginning, I was a full like lyrical miracle head, and I was like, like this is my bag. Because again, I'm from North Carolina. J. Cole was everything to me when I was a kid, and he's still like one of my favorite artists. Beef aside, I'm not even gonna get into that. But I think that as I got older, I started listening to the music everybody else was listening to. And then I was actually talking to my friends about this, and this is a theory that I have. But I was like, the ecosystem of hip hop and ultimately R&B is it's all basically catered, and for better or worse, despite how misogynistic both things really are, it's catered for the women. Basically, in the '70s when rap started, why were rappers gonna be MCs? Like, why did they want to rap to impress the girls? Why did the graffiti artists paint to impress the girls? Why were the DJs making break beats? Why was everybody breakdancing in the club to impress the girls? So, and my one take that I've always had is that you can't be a successful rap artist, but any artist, without having women who support you. So, and especially like seeing how basically this year, especially like the women in rap have just been taking it. Like outside of the West Coast and Kendrick, doing his thing, but Doechii, Glow, Megan, Flo Millie, Lotto, all of them have had banner years, and I really just wanted to like shout out them. And also, we could talk about Doechii, like how she's an influence on you.
Please, can we please?
Yeah, let's talk about Doechii real quick.
Please, can I please get some things off my chest?
That's it.
I hope she wins every single nomination she has at the Grammys. Mm-hmm. I hope she every last so well deserved. Like, oh my gosh. I remember the first time that I heard Alligator Bites Never Heal. Like I literally, because I'm a person that when a new project comes out from somebody that I'm like looking forward to see, especially if their rollout is really, really good. Mm-hmm. And she had the boom bap. And I seen boom bap and I'm like, oh yeah. I'm tuned in. You don't gotta worry about I'm tuned in. Don't worry, I'm gonna be there when it releases. As soon as it released, and I grabbed my headphones and I was listening from top to bottom. Phenomenal. I can't even express to you how I felt after listening. I felt like she put a battery in my back to make music that I think about that I feel like I can't make. She put a battery in my back. And that's literally what I did with this last project I just released 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. She put a battery in my back to be able to write my truth and what I want. Like her Denial is a River. Yes. Oh, when I heard that, I was like, I can write Payback last $30 if I want to.
Exactly. And that song was really smooth. That was tough. Let me look up. Let me see if I can play it on my tablet so people can listen to it real quick. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted, but I think
it's a favorite. People are fawning over this.
Sorry, my football app's open. There we go. Let me see. Ads. Soul Woman, Payback. This is Payback, last $30 by Kahndes.
Friends come and go, the light is season. Fall in love with you, whether there's some backstabbing bitches. Telling folks that they don't like you, but they in your face, 32 cheesy. I got some different, I can never bite that hand that would feed me. I say, you know better, you do better, yeah. Can't it's your way if you let them, yeah. They say diamonds they made under pressure. Should've told them when the pressure comes, these folks gon' test her. that made a girl lose her mind. Testify. Them last $30, it made a girl lose her mind.
Okay, you gotta pause it.
Yeah, you gotta pause.
Get it all.
Okay, so we can go into a lyrical breakdown. Where do you want to go with this? But
okay, we can definitely do. Actually, I can explain the story behind it.
What's the story behind it? What inspired it? Because again, this is going on every playlist. I hope you know that right here.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, that's something special.
Thank you. So it was. I've had like a lot of little incidents where people have fallen out with me about money. And specifically about money that they assume that I owe them because I'm spending money on myself. So I should spend money on them even though they're grown. So there was an incident where I went to go perform at a place I've never been before, in a state I've never been before. And I was going with another Tallahassee artist. And we wanted somebody to come up there and video everything for us. So I paid for one of her closest friends a plane ticket for her to go so she could record everything. I gave her $343, right? So we go up there. The girl that doesn't have any money, she's buying big plates of food. She's ordering espresso martinis. She doesn't have any money to put on a tab. And when we first got there, I literally explained to them, like, we're all in the hotel room. And I was like, last time I went on a girls trip, like, it didn't really end well because it was my best friend's birthday. I flew up to Belleville, Illinois, to go to St. Louis for her birthday. I planned this whole excursion, got the Airbnb, everything. And the other two people that came with no money. And they knew they didn't have funds. But instead of not coming on the trip, they came anyway and then assumed that I was going to pay for everything for them. Because I had it like that. Yeah. So, yeah. So I ended up, my best friend was good. Having her, made sure that I took her out to the club, took her out to dinner, whatever. Left them at the house because I'm not paying for y'all.
Not at all. That's treacherous.
And I went home early because I had called my mom. The last time that I was somewhere with some friends, I was in Texas and it ended horribly. I think I had just turned 20, I want to say. And I woke up the next morning and I was left in downtown Houston because they went back home without me. So that was the last time I was at home. My cousin had to come from Austin to come get me. So that was that time. And then we went to St. Louis, celebrate my birthday, my best friend's birthday. Then that happened. And then now I'm in Rhode Island expressing to them all the times that I've been somewhere on girls' trips where things have happened horribly. And I was like, I'm just glad that this is a music thing and that this is a great opportunity. We're all confiding in each other, right? Right after that, I actually don't really have a lot of money. Can you cover all the lifts for the rest of the night until tomorrow when I get paid?
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm missing a very crucial part of the story, which is why the name of the song is called the name of the song. So when I was with my best friend and I went home early, her birthday was that Sunday. I was with her that morning. I went to the airport at like 5 o'clock in the morning to catch my flight to go back. So I was with her to bring in her birthday. And that day, I get all the way back home. I get on 2 connecting flights. I get all the way back home. My mom picks me up from Atlanta. And why did I get a call? She's bawling, crying. I'm like, what is going on? They said that they were going to celebrate her birthday with her. And the same 2 people that said that they were broke bought 2 cupcakes for themselves and posted up on Snapchat talking about this my evil twin, while my best friend was at church on her 24th birthday, or her 23rd birthday. Yeah. So me, I take fault for this. I've already repented and all that good jazz, whatever. I've already owned up to it. I've already apologized to them for my part and what happened. But I canceled the Airbnb and I told them to find somewhere else to stay.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, and I told my best friend to pack up her stuff and leave because I didn't trust her being around them. Because that's really weird to do to somebody on their birthday. Yeah, knowing that she was already having a hard time in her life just in general. And you guys did that to her. You came up here with no money and then used money to get what you needed, but didn't take care of her on her birthday. And that's what we were there for. I have a problem with that. And that's when I tell you my best friend is my best friend, like that is my other half. I would do anything for that girl.
Gotcha.
I did not like that. And I'm glad that I was states away Let's just say that I was glad I.
Oh no, no, I completely understand crashing out over that. Please trust me. I'm not knocking that.
Yeah, and like from that situation, when one of the girls was like, "Oh, you should give me my money back for the rest of the Airbnb," which was non-refundable in the first place. The only amount that I would have been giving her because it was less than a night's stay was $30. So when we get all the way to this year, almost a year since that happened, when we're going to the airport, the girl, the Tallahassee artist, asked me if she could use my hair gel to do her hair in the car. I said, yeah, just make sure you leave it in the car because it was expensive and I just bought it. The gel was $30. We get to the airport, she tries to smuggle it through TSA. And they take it and they throw it away. Yeah. So when the trip had ended and we all got back, I sent her a picture of the gel. This is 3 weeks after we had got back. Mind you, what happened after that was we had my listening party because my EP confirmation, she dropped the next week. She didn't come to my listening party. I called her and invited her and her boyfriend to come to my house to still eat with me, have our own little miniature listening party. Because I know how it feels to be an artist and have an event or a gig that you've been waiting so long for, and then it happens, and now you feel like you're just
right.
Like,
yeah.
Like I understand how that feels. So I was like, oh, I'm just still gonna call her and invite her over because I don't want to hang out with her as much anymore. Now I realize why I didn't hang out with her as much anymore because she had a problem with me, but she didn't say that. Instead, she came over to my house. Her and the other girl that didn't have money that also went on the trip with us came to my house with her boyfriend and the other girl, ate my food, was smiling and kicking in my face. And then that weekend, she was supposed to perform at a festival. I was not performing at this festival, but I still split an Airbnb with somebody else to go down and support her because I knew she didn't have supporters in that city. I take a picture of the gel. Actually, no, let's back up one more time. Just one more time. The day before we left, that Thursday, the day before we left that Thursday, we went to an event. We were all at an event here in Tallahassee, nice little event. And it was for like artists. There was like a beat competition. Like it was a lot of things, just like a really networking type of thing. She showed up. I'm standing beside my producer. She talks to the producer. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Looks at me, doesn't say a word. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. But I didn't really think anything about it. So I told the other girl, like, it's kind of like they're avoiding me all night. But I thought I was just too in my head and I was already tired. I just had a long day. So I'm not really like thinking anything of it. I told her, I'm like, oh, you should tell them to play like one of the songs that we all did together for this collective that we were a part of. I was a part of with them. And she told them to go play it. We're up here. They play the song. We're laughing, dancing, giggling, kikiing, smiling, just having a good old time. And right after that, I'm trying to get their attention to let them know that I'm leaving. And they're in the corner with two other girls laughing and kikiing like this is like some middle school bully type of thing. Like I was supposed to feel left out. And I felt it and I knew what it was. I was like, I know what that is. I know exactly what's happening now. So I leave. And then that's when the next day I sent her a picture of the jail before we were getting ready to leave. Because at this point, I need to do my hair. It's been 3 weeks since we've been in Rhode Island. You should give me my money by now, right? No. When I sent it to her, she said, oh, I'm going to replace yours as soon as possible. As soon as possible would have been before it was 3 weeks, but okay. And I said, like, I already bought it. You can just reimburse me whenever you can. That's all I said. She said, okay. And while I'm on the way driving somewhere to be in an Airbnb that I split with somebody else to support her, she sends me a long message about how she's not those girls that treated me wrong the last time, throwing stuff back in my face, saying, "Oh, you were in the airport buying this much stuff, and we were broke and hungry." Mind you, when we were in Rhode Island, I paid for every single lift that we took. Every single bill that we had to pay for the girl that didn't have any money because she had no money to put on the tab. And eventually, the other girl also didn't have any money, so I was also covering her as well, some of her bill as well. Yeah. So then when we got to the airport, when we were getting ready to leave, I went in the gift shop and bought things for me and my family because I'm the first person that's ever been there. And this is a big accomplishment for me. Like I want souvenirs. I want stuff. I worked hard. I'd already budgeted. Mind you, I had a show coming up, but I took some of the money from out of the show to be able to pay this because I was like, I need a jacket. I need a sweatshirt. I need everything I want. Why, if you didn't have money, why were you also in the gift shop buying a hat for your boyfriend and a toy for, so you have money. You just wanted to use mine. You just wanted to use my money. You had
this is like Dante's Inferno level of just people being broke. Like this is
just broke.
Like this is very broke activity, and I'm like,
and and I've been in the position where I've been broke, but I would never go to a trip anywhere out of state without having money.
Not at all.
Sure, I'm covered, and like to go up there with money, knowing that this artist, also had a sponsor to pay for things, and I only had a paycheck that I also had to pay my rent for, and money that I had left over from my last check because I budgeted my money correctly. If you knew you didn't have the funds, you should not have gone, and you shouldn't have been depending on me to take care of y'all when y'all were grown. And like, granted, the girl that was videoing everything, I made sure that she had her ticket, and we knew that she didn't have money. That was already known. But you ain't say that you ain't have none either. Y'all sat up there and played in my face like that?
That's crazy.
Y'all knew that y'all didn't have money when y'all came up here, and then you waited till I got all the way up here to tell me that? Now you put me in a really horrible position because we're supposed to be here on a business trip to have a good time, and now you're saying that you don't have any money. So after that happened, went down. I still went to the thing because I was already on the way there to this big festival, and they were just being weird to me the whole time. It was just very odd. It was like, it wasn't even like an overnight thing, but it felt like they knew that they had an issue with me, and they waited until I was going somewhere where there would be a good opportunity for me and my music to say something to me about it and cut me off. Because there are so many people that I still got connected with people down there anyway, because I still did my thing. But after that happened, she sent me that long message, stopped sharing my location, blocked her, didn't say anything. Told the other person, hey, I'm going to rethink my decision about being in this collective. It's kind of seeming like there's some pent up aggression toward me. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going to remove myself for the time being. The girl that didn't have any money at all, that I paid her plane ticket, messaged me back and said that I need to do some self-reflection to see why people feel about me the way that they do. But she just had a whole expenses-free paid trip to Rhode Island because I took care of her.
Yeah.
I didn't even respond. I didn't respond. I just stopped sharing my.
What's your sign, by the way?
I'm a Taurus.
Okay, I'm a Pisces. Okay, so
yeah,
like,
so you can tell that I'm trying to hold my tongue while all of this is happening. And after the whole weekend goes over, I finally sent her a message back, a long message. The artist that sent me a long message, basically saying, "Oh, I'm a mean girl, and I did a complete 360, which is a full circle." A whole lot of things. And I sent her a message. I addressed every single thing that she said, including the fact that I'm not obligated to spend that much money on you. I'm not obligated to do that. I told y'all that. And I literally gave you a whole story about how I wasn't going to do that. And then you try to do it again to see if I learned my lesson. Oh, I learned my lesson. You're not getting no more money out of me. The only reason why you were in as many lifts is because we were all going to the same place. Gotcha. If I wanted to, I could have just left y'all stranded, but I didn't do that out of being a good person and not wanting to leave y'all stranded, because I've done that to people before when they tried to play me. And I knew after, even though they did me wrong and I felt like I was justified in the moment, when time passes, you feel bad about that type of stuff if you're actually a good person. Yeah. So I went back and apologized to those people. And even though they may or may not have forgiven me, I wasn't about to do that again, knowing that I felt bad about doing that to somebody else for a long period of time. So I try to stick it out. But after that, and I sent that message, I didn't say anything to them. I go to the studio. My producer asked me, hey, like, what's going on? I see you're not associated with. I was like, no, I'm not. Gave him the whole rundown. He's like, yeah, I kind of figured something happened. Why 2 days later, I get an email from the videographer person, the person that is actually in charge of this collective, that is over it, that asked me to join it. She harassed me in an email on behalf of her and that other Tallahassee artist, telling me to keep their names out of my mouth, saying that they have basically more power than me and their names hold weight, and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. Even though I hadn't even messaged this girl, I hadn't even reached out to her, said anything to her. When I sent that long message to the other artist, I did not respond or say anything to the videographer girl, because why would I have to? I made sure you were good. There's nothing that I have to say to you, because you really played in my face. You were over here all the time, sleeping on my futon, taking showers in my house, going in the kitchen, cooking up my noodles and everything else. Your hair was all over my apartment. I don't have anything to say to you, because nothing I say to you is going to be nice. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. If it's not going to be respectful, I'm not going to say nothing. I honestly had already heard the beat for Payback before that point. And the only thing that I had in my head was testify them last $30 made a girl lose her mind. That's the only thing that I can think of. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't even write the rest of the song because the words aren't coming to me easily. Maybe I should just not even write it. Like maybe that's a sign to not even write it. Okay. I got that email where she harassed me. That song was written within 5 minutes.
We love to see it. So
they should have giant sleep.
Okay. Also, crazy story. I'm praying for you over here because man, people suck. Like also there's people suck. Yeah, they play too much. Well, this is definitely gonna make the episode. That's definitely gonna be a huge part of this.
That's what happened.
I wanted to ask you more so, other than ignoring. Well, not just moving past that. What is your writing style like? Because are you the one who like immediately like, oh, I can just punch in, or I'll just like freestyle something and it'll come to me, or I'll write something down and come back to it later? Like, how do you write? How do you like decide? Okay, this is like how am I gonna basically structure this song and like work it out?
So what I do is I'll like listen to beats, and I always wait to listen to beats until I have money. Because I know if I listen to a beat and I don't have no money, I'm gonna be upset that I can't buy the like lease the beat immediately and go to the studio. So I try to wait until I know I have the funds to like move. But I will literally just play the beat. If I like it when it starts and I'm like picking up on something and I'm like mumbling, I'll immediately pause it. I'll grab my iPad and I'll grab my speaker. I'll hook my phone up to my speaker, and then I'll do the voice memo on my iPad. I'll just start it and I'll play the whole beat, and I will just whatever comes out, comes out. It's like basically a freestyle. Sometimes I just do melodies. Sometimes I do different words that I know I want to put in the verse. I just got to figure out how to get to them, like what I want to do, what the flow is going to look like. And after I do that, I go back to the voice memo. I put my headphones on and I flip between the beat and the voice memo. And then I just write it. I'm not going to lie. My notebook looks like chicken scratch because it's like all these thoughts are just like jumbled. My friends always tell me that, like, you know, when I get famous, which is going to happen, that I should like frame all of them so people can see how chaotic my like this is, because it's all over the place. Like I can honestly, last weekend I think was the first time that I was ever like in a studio with somebody making a beat for me, and I was able to like write it, but then not everything in it I didn't like. Like I didn't like all of the flows of everything. It was the first time I actually had to sit down and be like, dang, like I gotta rewrite this. I don't like it. Yeah. Any other time before last week, it would come like this. Like it was no question. Oh yeah, this is the song right here.
And that's the thing. Like for me, like with poetry and my writing style, there's like an old Doja Cat interview where she basically said that she'll like write something that she thinks is cool in a moment, and then she'll just like leave it, and then like she'll just like build something around it afterwards. I do that a lot with my poems. Like I will like have like a fire line or concept in my head, and I'll just like write it, and I'll just be like, boom, I got it. And I feel like that's kind of how I've always been doing it. I weirdly am good at freestyling because, well, I say I'm good at freestyling to the extent of I need to like have the beats and have everything and like have some thoughts formulated before. Like I at least need to like have written a bunch of stuff before, and then I can like build off of like those ideas I might have had. But I think with writing especially, the one thing that sucks if you're very confident in your writing is the fact that sometimes you feel like you need to edit because it sucks because you're always like, dang, I wish I could have said this better. I wish I could have conveyed this better. And like with you like writing, like doing actually like making songs, like is there ever songs where you're kind of like, I could have done this better, or you just like, fuck it, I'm confident in this shit. Like it's gonna be okay.
No, confident. Like when I told you like that last weekend, it was like this one little section that I didn't like, but I ended up changing it, and I like the way that it sounds now. The song is not out yet; it's coming soon. Okay. I can't tell you what it is and what it's for and what it sounds like. I can't tell you none of that. You'll see.
Okay. We'll wait. We'll wait for the exclusive.
But, yeah, like when I tell you every single song that I've put out, especially with the new producer, shout out to Outlaw Beats. He saw my vision. I told him that like who my inspirations were. I'm like, I like that Jill Scott vibe of you understand exactly what she's saying, and it sounds so real. It sounds like her. There is no auto-tune. There's nothing crazy going on. There's not a lot of effects. I want people to hear my music and then hear my voice and be like, ain't that your song? Like they should be able to know that it's me without,
gotcha.
you know. So when I tell you he understands my vision so well, if there's anything that I want changed and I take it to him, he makes sure that I get it done. For that EP, I recorded all 4 songs within a 5-hour session.
Damn. Okay.
And I went back the next, like a day after, or yeah, I went back the next day, that Sunday. I recorded it Saturday. So Saturday before last, that's when I recorded it. The week before that, I had a show, and I had already told him, I'm doing an EP. I got to get it out because I know that there's something behind it. I always get a little tingly feeling, a little sense when I'm supposed to be doing something. And I always move on that instinct. I always trust my gut. I always feel like there's one of these songs on here that's really gonna catch up to people, and I need to hurry up and get it out before the idea is given to somebody else. So that's exactly what I did. And once I recorded and I went back that next day, I listened to all 4 of those songs over and over and over again. I'm always trying to figure out ways to critique myself. Sometimes I critique myself too much. I'm my own biggest critic. I'll be like, no, I don't want it panning from the left to right. It needs to be right to left. No, I don't want it this loud. It needs to be, no, you got to take that ad lib out. No, I can't do the lead vocals on that part. We need the background to be, there needs to be a distinction. Like,
it's like a beautiful mind with you. Like, it's just like like, I call it, well, this is how I kind of define like how I have like my own artistic vision, especially like, again, with me writing, I have like a Kobe Bryant like obsession with it, where it's like, I have to like keep doing repetition. And then I just have supreme confidence in whatever I do with it, because it's like I've already criticized myself worse than anything anybody else could say, and I already know myself fire. So why would I really worry about that? And that's why I feel like with journalism, and especially like in this space, I worry so much about like if my take's gonna be wrong, or if this is. I'm like, wait, people are gonna support me regardless if they feel my takes or not. So like, there might be something that people disagree with, but I don't know. I think that I love how your mind works and how kind of confident you are in your art, because that's the one thing that I believe everybody should have, and just in anything that you do, is just have a supreme confidence in yourself. Because again, stuff gets crazy, life gets too stressful. But if you have something that you believe in yourself and you can constantly do, I believe that that's really how you become who you're meant to be. Is just having confidence in like kind of. And again, people say like, "Oh, you're Pisces, you do this," will like you manifest the reality that you want. But honestly, I literally wrote down like all my goals I've had, and the first part of the goals is like starting to happen, and that's the coolest thing to me, because I wrote down like, I want to work on a sports podcast. Literally 2 weeks later, I got hired. I've been doing that for 3 months, and it's really started to grow and really pop off for me. I was like, I want to start my own show and interview great artists. I found you on TikTok.
Hello.
Yep, my roommate. Like, I feel like I'm on the come up, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I want to do. Like, how great I want to be in the space, because again, sometimes like you have these like lofty goals, and sometimes you feel like you got to shrink yourself. So I want to ask, like, what are your like lofty goals or like dream collaborations who you'd like to work with?
I definitely want to work with Joe Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know a lot of artists talk about like who they fangirl over, and like, I kid you not, I've already seen her in concert before.
Yeah.
I've already seen her in concert. She's my first concert. I haven't been to. Yeah, I have. I didn't want to go to that concert, but the Jill Scott concert that I went to, when I tell you, she was like the first person that I seen live, and that was the first time that I realized like I'm supposed to be up there. Like, I was sitting. I wasn't even sitting. I stood up for the whole concert. I did not sit down.
Gotcha.
The only time I sat down is when she had her interpretive dancers come out. She went to the back, and I was like, okay. And then she came back out, and then I stood back up. But like, that was the first time that I've seen somebody performing on stage, and it wasn't like I wish I was up there. It was I'm supposed to be where she's standing right now. Like, I'm supposed to be up there. And when I tell you, I would love to work with her. I would love to work with Erykah Badu. I would love to work with Doechii. I would love to work with Victoria. But all the people that I'm inspired by, I would love to work with them. I would love to work with Lucky Day. I would love to work with Alex Isley. Alex Isley, Destin Conrad. Like, there are so many people. Tyler, the Creator.
Yes.
There are so many people that I would love.
And that's the thing that I noticed about you is that you and Tyler had that same confidence, that
in,
immense self belief of like, oh, I'm like that, and that's something that's been like the key thing I've seen in this interview. I'm like, oh, I'm rooting for you.
there is no chance in my life that I'm not going to succeed. Like there is no chance that I'm not going to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I've ever done in life, I've always succeeded at it.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Like even when I didn't want to do it anymore, I was still succeeding. I was still doing a great job. And I've been told many times, I'm a Christian, I believe in God, Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? That's my father. He got me this far.
Shout out to the
Lord Jesus Christ, hello, love you back. But I can genuinely say that from the time that I was little, even my mom always talks about it, from the time that I was in her womb, people have always told her, like, that child right there, she's the one. Yeah. She's the one. And I know with every fiber of my being, there's no doubt in my soul that doing music is something I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. I know that. But with me knowing that comes great responsibility because it means that I need to do what I need to do on my side so he can do what he needs to do on his side.
Yep.
So I literally, the moment that I realized that was like, I can't lie to you, that was really recent. Like I knew I wanted to do music, but it wasn't until I like started performing that I was like, okay, like this is pretty cool. I had this one performance. I was opening for that Tallahassee artist. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time that I was opening for somebody else's show. And I was like, okay, like this should be good. Had a live band, completely new people. I knew none of these people. Mm-hmm. We ended up doing a cover of Erykah Badu. Mm. Not On and On, but we did And On because it's my favorite thing to watch. Like I'm a big archive person. I go through all the North Sea Jazz festivals. I watch all the people that I really, really love and I take after them. I write down the things that I like that I see when they perform so that I can try to figure out how I can adopt their greatness into what I want to do. So I can make myself. And when I tell you we sung that song, I don't know what happened. It was like an out of body experience. I always tell people I feel so close to God whenever I'm in my creative space because it's like, yeah, this is exactly what you put me here to do. Like this is where I feel the most at peace with knowing who my father is. This is where I'm at. We did that song. I have it recorded on my phone still. I listened to it so many times and I was like, me as a performer, like live, I am insane. I was like, I do half of the things I can do with my voice until I sing live. And like when I go back and listen to that recording over and over again, I think that was the moment that it really clicked in my head. Like, if you want it, you gotta let go. If you want it, you gotta let go and you gotta just do it. Don't even care. Don't care about what comes out of your mouth. Don't care about what people think. Don't care about how your face looks. Don't care about if the whatever the musicians are doing, let them do what they do. You lead the charge. And when I tell you it was the most beautifully orchestrated thing I've ever done, even to this day, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever done. And I still have it in my phone. I haven't shared it yet. So I'm like, I need to hold on to it a little bit longer so nobody sees it. And it's like in the voice memo kind of stage. Okay. So you can hear what's happening. But that right there, that's when I was like, oh yeah, this is real. Like I thought I could just write music and maybe, okay, I'll like write music for this person and I could just be behind the scenes and be a songwriter. Like it never occurred to me that I could actually be a performer until that happened in a rehearsal. And then I had like my performance of the show and people were stunned. It was like I had total command of the room. Like everybody was on edge because they didn't know what I was going to do next.
Yeah. So for me, I would say I relate to that because there was one open mic I did. It was the first one I'd ever done at Howard, mind you. I had like stage fright. Like I didn't realize that like during COVID, I kind of developed like anxiety with like large crowds and being in front of a bunch of people. And I was like, and I like that during that like first week, I was like showing people all my poetry, doing all this, doing all that. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go up and do this poem that I literally wrote. It's basically like based on Love Jones, right? And like that's favorite black love movie of all time. But I performed it like, and again it's like on the artist in front of like I think like 50, 60 people, and I'm like, okay, well we're here because like I got there early and I didn't expect like a crowd to be there. I was like, oh, it's a little deep here. And then I did it, and I just felt the reactions, the snaps, the ooh, like I was like, what is this? Like this, it
Mhm.
like what you said, like you felt closer to God. That's why I was like, okay, like this poetry stuff, this is something I'm meant to do. And also, quick side note, my goal is to get big enough where I bring that poetry jam back, and you would definitely be a guest who I would have on. Who
Oh,
just
definitely. Look, I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning of this interview, when you were like, "Oh, this is like I'm the first artist," in my head, I was like, "See," and when I get Grammy nominated, I'm gonna come back on this thing and I'm gonna talk again.
and we see we tapped in, we locked, and I appreciate that.
We're locked in.
Okay, but I really appreciate you for being on this episode because we are a little bit over time. But this has been a great episode. I love hearing your story, talking to you about your art. Anything that you need me to promote is going on the story, any song, anything. I got you because I really want to like show love to you and show love to your artistry because you got a sound, you got an energy to you, and the fact that you are led by God through this work, you got something to you. So I definitely think that you got next. You have your drive is commendable. Like is something to behold. So I definitely want to celebrate you. Also, side note question: how long have you had your locks? Because
It'll in December. In December, it'll be 4 years.
okay, got you. It's been 5 years for me, so that's why like like we locked in as part of the lock community as well. So yeah, it was great interviewing you. Great talking to you. I will have this out. This will be out probably tomorrow because I got time. But yeah, it was great talking to you. Thank you for having you on. Where can people find you? What are projects they should listen to? What are some things people should really tap into?
I'm actually on all platforms. I'm working on SoundCloud and Bandcamp because I
Mm,
forget people don't always have subscriptions. But Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Deezer, Pandora, iHeartRadio,
mm,
you name it, is out there, is
yeah.
everywhere. You can definitely listen to Soul Woman. It's the new EP that just released literally 2 days ago, or technically a day ago. Everybody Likes It is the song Payback. That's on that project. There's a couple of other little gems. If you also want to listen to some more of the music, I have a single that I released not long ago called Summer. And also before that, I also have a project called Confirmations, which was kind of a bit of the project that kind of put me on the map here in Tallahassee just a
Mhm.
little bit. So if you want to listen to those, you definitely can. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Blue Sky or Blue Ski, however you want to say it.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
on
get to this
everything.
guy.
Kahndes official, Kahndes official. So if
All right.
you want to look for me, you can find me.
All right. Thank you so much. This has been a great episode of Generational Debates. Peace.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. All right. Hold on.